Hello, hello. This is Ray Motor from ACG, and welcome to another edition of the Deep Edge podcast. I'm very excited to start 2023 with a prestige guest. We have Raj Yavatkar, who's the CTO of Juniper Networks, and we're going to get deep into discussions about OpenRAN, where there's a lot of discussion moving forward 2023, but also we're going to go deeper into what they're doing related to their ecosystem, some of their partners, and then get deep into the whole areas related to xApps and RAP and the whole issue or opportunities, I should say, related to RIC in that particular space. So let's get this podcast started. Hey, Raj, thanks for joining the hot seat. How you doing?
Hi, Ray. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm looking forward to seeing you again live. One of the things that we want to do as part of this particular podcast is maybe if you could tell a little bit about your background and how you got to Juniper. And what I like to do as part of this discussion I talked about earlier is really get deep into some of the initiatives going on from OpenRAN, because there's been so many discussions related to that. So it'd be great.
Yeah, so I think I got to Juniper exactly 3 years back. It has been 3 years since I joined as CTO. I came from Google Cloud, where I was leading a team of engineers responsible for Google Cloud networking infrastructure, right? And that included both the virtual networking stack and products like load balancers, firewalls, and so on. And before that, I was VMware doing enterprise software. So that's the background.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. So maybe we could just get right into it, right? We hear that over the last few years, right? There's been a lot of discussions related to OpenRAN, and Juniper is heavily involved in this particular area. I mean, what do you see as some of the initiatives, or what do you see going on around OpenRAN for operators and for vendors moving forward here?
Yeah, so as you know, the ORAN Alliance was created by operators to create choice. And I think what has changed in the last year is no longer the debate about whether we are going to this open ecosystem or not. All the operators are on board. They are progressing at different levels, and they are definitely bringing together different players to make this happen. For example, in December, ORAN Alliance held a global plug fest across Asia, Europe, North America, literally more than 100 participating companies. That was a very successful plug fest. What we are seeing is that we just finished the commercial field trial with a top tier European telco. We'll go public with that in NWC next month, which involved multiple cell sites, multiple sectors with our RIC and parallel wireless radio stack coming together to control. One of the concerns with ORAN was that when you bring components from different players, can they meet the KPIs that are already being provided by traditional vendors? In this commercial field trial we found that we were able to meet or exceed the KPIs provided by traditional stack. That's a big win. Another POC we did in another tier 1 operator involved multiple players, including system integrators and all. Again, that was very successful, and people are now beginning to go to either commercial field trials or actual deployments. So that shows that the alliance is coming together, and operators are very serious, especially tier 1s. Tier 1, 2s are moving little slowly because they need a package solution.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's an important question, because I always get questions about why are the tier 1s moving slower than normal, and I think you touched on a little bit of that, because I do see when we do the business cases for a lot of the carriers and stuff, it's an easy business case, honestly, when we show the value of operational efficiencies and that piece. But some of the concerns is how do I operationalize this, right? How do I not create an operational nightmare from that piece? And I think that leads to maybe the next part of the questions with some of these business models evolving, is that you had a recent partnership announcement with Rakuten and with Juniper's RAN intelligent controller running on the SIM World platform as part of that. Are you able to talk a little bit further about your efforts and what else you're looking to do forward with that relationship? Because I think it addresses on the key part of the first question there.
Absolutely. I think, first of all, I want to point out that the Rakuten partnership is broader. It's not just ORAN, but we're also working together on virtualized cell site router, taking advantage of the 7.2 split in 3GPP for front-haul to mid-haul aggregation. And we announced that a year back. And we're also working with them on cloud metro routing portfolio. But I think what you touched upon is very important. The business model that Rakuten is bringing to the model is that they will pre-integrate, pre-validate RIC with rest of the same world platform, including cloud native. And they will offer RIC as free to the market, with the assumption that xApps and RApps that run on the RIC bring the real value, they should be monetized. And that's very attractive to many players, including tier one operators, because you are getting a pre-integrated platform along with radio stack and everything. And you are only paying when you start monetizing your xApps, RApps, which you'll use for things like slicing, for energy efficiency, for spectrum optimization, and so on. The idea is to build a strong ecosystem of xApp, RApp vendors who start adding value, which enables services on demand, and that can be monetized. So it's a very nice and very good business model in my opinion.
Yeah, no, this is good. I mean, they have a reputable reputation of being innovative, so I think it helps complete the story. And when we look at, let's say Juniper, for instance, right? I always talk to a lot of service providers, specifically the tier one, saying the importance of saying that one vendor could do this all alone, right? And looking for a vendor that's very open at creating this ecosystem environment, right? In this community to be more successful. So not only you're getting best of breed in that area, you're able to show the economic benefits of that. How is Juniper building out this community and progressing with this eco partnership moving forward?
So there are two sort of parts to that. First is that if you look at the ORAN ecosystem itself, we are working very actively with Intel and Rakuten, which provide the platform, right? Then we are working with, for example, the radio RAN stack vendors like Parallel Wireless and Casa Systems. We are working with VIV and Keysight, which provide testing platforms. Then you have Capgemini and IBM coming in as system integrators. And then we have, of course, xApp vendors. So bringing all these pieces together. The second aspect parallel is SimWorld, which is acts as a system integrator. Because one of the things people are worried about is, do I get a single throat to choke? That's the role the system integrators play. So Rakuten also plays that with the SimWorld platform. So on both the fronts, we're making a lot of progress to bring together a strong ecosystem of these collaborating, cooperating partners.
Now earlier you mentioned RIC and some of the applications with a lot of the people referring to xApp and RApp and even some of our analysts I've had to do a double take when they show me the TAM opportunity for that. I'm like, really? Right? So it looks like it's tremendous opportunity. I want to know what do you see as some of the possibilities at operators regarding these xApp and some of the value that they could look moving forward there?
That's a good question. So one of the bottlenecks, right, the RAN systems have always faced is that if they wanted a new feature to be added, new service, they had to wait for traditional OEM to provide it in 6 months. Except RApps make it possible on demand. Now the ecosystem is evolving. I'll give you some examples, right? There are things like slice-aware admission control, traffic steering, especially when you have massive MIMO kind of deployment, is very important. xApps and RApps can provide you that. Right? RApps can do that at a much bigger time scale. We are working with companies like IRA Technologies. They're applying machine learning for energy efficiency. Cohere, which is doing spectrum optimization. AirHop. These are our partners. We'll announce more xApp partners because we really want to create a strong ecosystem of xApp, RApp players who run on our platform, and that enables new services. That's the goal.
Yeah, now maybe we can close with some of the things because you talked about how aggressive you are getting in, and traditionally, that's an area that Juniper hasn't made been strong in the past, right? But now bringing you in and the team that you're building, getting a lot of credibility moving forward. Where do you see this moving forward with this partnership, this eco thing evolving, and any suggestions of saying, here's how Juniper defines the area and why we're getting involved with that? Maybe we could close with that.
Sure. I think one of the things we have to do that we have to make it super easy from lifecycle management, bringing an xApp up and running very quickly. That's what we are focusing on, because I think we can enable that. So we are not just providing a RIC, but we enable the entire ecosystem. That's important. The second big thing we are doing is private 5G. One of the things people should realize is that with private 5G, we have a very good product with Mist Wi-Fi. We are taking market share, growing more than 100% per year, and we are top edge of leader and visionary in Gartner Magic Quadrant. Why? It's a cloud-managed AI ops solution. Doesn't require you to do anything on-prem. You can start operating immediately. It does self-healing, self-troubleshooting. Now imagine side by side, if I have a CBRS-based private 5G stack, and base, all of them managed together from a single AI ops point, that will change the ecosystem. So that's another goal this year we have, to go to the market with that. So not only we work with carriers, but carriers or others can start offering private 5G solutions side by side with a Wi-Fi solution.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's actually probably something I should have addressed, because when we look at private 5G, right, I mean, we do quite a lot of work in that area, and there's a lot of misconceptions related to that, right? There's the first part of saying, yeah, let's force license spectrum in there, but when I talk to a lot of them, it's like they look for this Wi-Fi first strategy, right? And they look for some of this spectrum, licensed spectrum, because there's a specific app or a solution or device where they need to address it point of view. But for some of the traditional office and other pieces that don't require that level of latency, exactly. Right? And so I think it's important when we look at, I don't even call it private 5G, I call it private wireless, right? For that piece. So whether it's licensed or unlicensed, but then bringing the AI ops, the whole key is being able to have some remediation and visibility capability moving forward. So religion is something in that area that people have to get past from that. So, well, I think it's good that you touched on that, because I should have added that as a question there, Raj. So, well, you're officially off the hot seat. I want to thank you for joining, and hopefully I'll see you in Spain soon.
Yes, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Thank you.